You're frustrated with your coaching business, but I can almost guarantee that the reason why is blind to you. So today I'm going to show you exactly why you feel stuck, frustrated and overwhelmed within your coaching business, and I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. And if you don't know me, my name is Alexandros. For short, you can call me Alexi. And long story short, what I do is I take the guesswork out of sales and marketing for coaches so they can focus on coaching. And at the time of recording, I've generated coaches over £500,000 in revenue in doing so. So first of all, let's talk about why you're feeling the way that you do. And this is a really important concept for you to understand, because if you can't identify why it's happening, it's going to keep happening. Now, the reason that most coaches feel frustrated, stuck, overwhelmed within their coaching business is first of all, because they're listening to too many opinions. Now, here's the issue with the online space. There are, first of all, so many people out there trying to sell to coaches. So all of that noise that you're hearing, all of those different opinions that you're getting told can become extremely overwhelming. So I completely understand why you feel the way that you do. The first thing that I need you to understand, if you're going to stop feeling frustrated with your coaching, before I show you how to fix it, is that everyone's always going to have a million different opinions and everyone's always going to have a different point of view, because this is how people sell their services. They need to contradict each other. They need to go against the norm. They need to go against what each other is saying to make themselves stand out and to make themselves sound different. If the noise feels too much and all of these opinions in terms of do cold outreach, do organic content, only run adverts, don't run adverts, if all of that feels confusing, first step for you is to just ignore the noise and understand that everybody is trying to sell you something. Now, here's the second thing that you need to understand why you're feeling frustrated. You're listening to all these different opinions from all of these different people, and these people don't understand the coaching business model and they don't understand coaches. Now, here's the thing, coaches are coaches. You're not salesmen, you're not marketers, yet you're listening to and taking on the opinions of people who are trying to give you process that don't understand that concept. So when you're feeling frustrated and stuck with the strategies that aren't working, or you're feeling overwhelmed with all the different advice you're getting, or you're feeling frustrated with the complexity of the processes and strategies you're trying to use, please do very simply understand that that is because people don't understand you as a coach. And this is another area as to why coaches struggle so much when it comes to the online space, because they're not doing something that aligns with them and aligns with their business model. Now, the last point as to why you're struggling, very simply, and this is something you really need to understand, is because you yourself haven't appreciated the fact or the model of the coaching business model or who you are. Again, not only are people telling you these complex strategies that don't align with you, but you're also listening to them. So what I really want you to take in mind and to understand as you're going forward with building out your coaching business and trying to find more clients is that the main reason that you're struggling is because you're trying to use something that is complex and difficult. Yes, these people are telling you to do it, but you are the one actually implementing this and using it for yourself. So what you need to do is understand how the coaching business model works. The coaching business model is simple, okay? And the simple saying is that simplicity scales, complexity fails. This is something that you need to approach and a dynamic that you need to approach everything that you do with. So when you're looking for a strategy, when you're looking for a way to get clients, when you're looking for a way to get leads, you need to focus on the simplicity of everything, okay? Now, here's the thing. A lot of coaches find getting clients online, find a new business, they find it complex because there are so many options out there. And they're not good or skilled in that area because you're coaches, which makes sense. But because of that, then you don't know how to make it simple. Now, my focus over the last few years, like I said, I've generated coaches over £500,000 in revenue. By this time next year, I'm going to be way past the £1 million in revenue mark generated for the coaches that I'm working with. But my focus has been on simplicity, because the one thing that I realized is as I worked with more and more coaches, spoke with more and more coaches, actually took time to understand the niche instead of trying to sell you some washed up course and service, is that coaches need that simplicity. So what I've identified over the years with working with tons of different coaches in tons of different niches, career coaches, executive coaches, leadership coaches, mindset coaches, trauma coaches, health coaches, business coaches, every type of coach that you can imagine, is I've developed a process and a system to help you to make getting new clients simple. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to fix that frustration and the simple elements that you need. So there's 4 core elements you need. The first one is you need a niche. The second one is you need a shop front, which I'll explain. The third one is you need a traffic source. And the fourth one is you need a conversion mechanism. That is all you need to grow your coaching business. You don't need a fancy funnel. You don't need a fancy webinar. You don't need to do and send 1,000,000 cold DMs to random people. You don't need to dance on camera like a clown to try and get some attention. This is all you need, okay? And this is what I'm going to show to you. So let's talk through this. So first one, a niche. The coaching industry is growing over £1 billion in size year on year. So what that means for you is that yes, there are more people looking for coaching, but there's also a lot more people trying to sell their coaching to these coaching clients. So the only way for you to truly stand out is to position yourself as an expert, is to niche down, and it's to make a market of one for yourself. The issue that a lot of coaches make is that their niche isn't clear, it's scrambled, they're trying to talk to too many people at once, and nobody really connects and resonates with their message. So the first thing I need you to do, and you have to do, is to niche down. The way to do that, very simply, fit your niche into this one category. I help X person achieve Y outcome and overcome Z problem. The way that you fit people into that category and the way you come up with the answers, think of the past clients that you've worked with. How can you categorize them into that? Think about your testimonials of clients you've got with clients. Think about your favorite clients that you've worked with. Think about your journey and your experience, because you've likely coached from that place of experience, and plug that into that niche. That is simply all you need to do to define a niche. And then now that you've defined that niche, everything that you do online on social media in building out your presence needs to be built for and targeted for that client avatar. Okay, literally as simple as that. So that's step one, define the niche. Second step, you need to build a shop front. So think of it this way, right? Physical, in-person, brick and mortar businesses have a shop front, okay? They have a sign and they have a display window with the products in. The purpose of the brick and mortar business having that is to show you as a consumer what their shop is about, what it is that they sell, and it's to provide you a sense of value, right? Because then you will come into the store and you'll know what you're looking for, you know what you're about, you know that store is an expert in selling those products, and it gives you that sort of peace of mind and clarity that you're going to go into the store with the right reasons and get out what you want of it. We, as online businesses, need to build that shop front online. So for you, what you need to do essentially is create a social media page which is solely targeted to this client avatar that you've just defined a niche down into. Literally as simple as that. That is all you need to do. So your content needs to solve the problems that your client avatar has. So you essentially just need to give value, give advice, give tips, give tricks, give guidance on the issues that your client has. You need to show social proof and testimonials to your client of your client avatar and of you helping them to build up that trust. And then lastly, you need to show a bit about who you are, because people buy the coach, not the coaching. Share your story, share your transformation, share who you are as a person. Okay? Now, by building out that shop front and by positioning yourself as that way online as an expert for that specific client avatar, as I've already just kind of said, that positions you as an expert. It makes you seen as the go-to person. And then when your client avatar that you've defined sees that shop front, they're like, right, okay, this coach is for me. This coach is an expert on this. This coach knows what they're talking about here. Okay, so that's what you need to do with that. Now, the third thing that you need is you now need a traffic source. Okay, so think of it this way. You know exactly who you're targeting. You now have a way for that target customer to find you by building out your shop front and for them to see that you are an expert, that you are for them, and that you can help them. Okay, now the last thing that you need on this side of it, before I touch on the conversion piece, which I mentioned, is a traffic source. So essentially what that means is that you need a way of getting eyes on your page. And this is an issue and an area where a lot of coaches fall behind. They will not have a predictable way of getting eyes onto their page. And so they're wondering when somebody's going to turn up. They're guessing when they're going to get the next client. They're just in the dark. And this is a big sense of where the frustration comes from, because they don't have that predictable traffic source for them. So the next thing you need is one simple advertising campaign that gets eyes on your shop front, that allows you to generate people who are interested in your services as leads. Literally as simple as that. Again, if you want to see how to run this advert, what the script is and what the framework is, I have videos on my page. You can also DM me personally on Instagram. I will personally message you, not an appointment setter like most other people. And I will just show you essentially exactly what you need to be putting in that advert. Right, that's the third thing. So now let's look back on what we've got. We've got a clear defined niche, so we know exactly who we're targeting. Because if you're not targeting in a clear way and not speaking to the right people in a clear way, you're not going to find them, right? Again, a really good quote that I heard, which I want you to take note of, is that in an over-communicated society, the only way to stand out is to oversimplify your message. There is so much noise out there, right? I'm driving. Imagine I'm your client avatar, I'm driving. If I turn on the radio, I've got ads. If I pull over, I walk to the shop, I go into a shop, they're advertising, they're giving me promotions, they're giving me discounts. If I pull up my phone and I start scrolling, I've got a million adverts. So I'm driving down the road, there's billboards. So the reason we're niching is to oversimplify and to cut through the noise and to make it clear who we for, so nobody's confused about what it is we offer and who for. Then once you've done that, you show that you're for that person by building out that shop front. You build out your social media, you share value, you show your target avatar, look, I'm for you, I'm an expert for you, I can help you, and I'm the person to come to. Again, to reiterate the importance of that, imagine you had a life-changing knee injury and you had to get surgery on it. The hospital provides you with 2 doctors. Doctor 1 has done some knee surgeries, but he's also done some heart surgeries. He also does some dentistry part-time, and he also does some part-time hair transplants. Okay, he's got some experience, he knows what he's talking about, not too bad. But then you get provided with Doctor 2, and Doctor 2, his sole expertise in everything he does day in, day out, is he helps people and works on knee surgeries only. You're going to be more compelled to go with Doctor 2. So this is why we build out our shop front for one client avatar. Okay, now, step 3, like I said, a traffic source. If you don't have traffic and you don't have eyes, you're just in the dark, right? It's like putting a beautifully created shop down a dark alleyway with no lampposts and where nobody walks past ever. There's no point. Okay, so that's the last step. Now, the last thing that you need is a simple conversion process. Essentially, what that means is you need a simple way of converting leads into calls and calls into clients. Now, the beauty of the system and the marketing process that I've just told you is that the majority of the leads that you get will already be pre-sold on you, who you are, your expertise, your knowledge, and you don't need to do much heavy lifting. It doesn't need to be pushy sales. It's authentic, natural sales. So essentially what you want to do is, with the ads that you run that drive people to view your shop front, get people to become leads, which essentially in this instance means drives people to follow your Instagram page to become a lead. You reach out to these people, you see if there's somebody that has a problem, you see if you can help them. If you can, you invite them to a call. As simple as that. On the call and before the call, you send them a bunch of videos and assets that explains to them your process, client testimonials, and your story and who you are. When they're on the call, they're pretty much sold. All you have to do is ask them a couple questions, find out their situation, make sure that there's nothing else that they need to know about your service to have them sold. And then essentially all you do from there is you convert clients. So those are the 4 simple things that you need to very simply sign, convert clients, right? And those 4 steps alone, a niche, a shop front, a traffic source, and a simple conversion system, is all you need to stop feeling frustrated within your coaching business. Now, I haven't really got into the details of how to do that in this video, because I just wanted to really just give you the overarching principles so that you understand them so you can progress going forward. But that is what you need. If you have any questions and you want to know about the specific details of each of those 4 elements, like I said, feel free to message me on Instagram personally, and I will send you the trainings that I have on those specific topics to help you out. But that is essentially all you need to stop feeling stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed in your coaching business. So like I said, if you have any questions about that, message me personally. And what I'll do now actually is I'll pop up a video which you can watch, which will really help you to see the fundamentals of marketing your coaching business.